as you can see by this title, this is going to be a what's for dinner, and welcome if you are new here, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. But anyways, we'll get right into the recipe. This is an easy etouffee. So you're going to start with 2 cans of cream of chicken, and I got the family size cream of chicken, and 2 cans of rotel tomatoes. And you're just going to place that in a crock pot, and I cook this on low for 6 hours. And then I also added some green bell pepper. You don't have to add those, it's not necessary. I just like the color that it gives and a little bit of flavor. And then you're going to also add some crawfish. Now if you cannot find crawfish, it's no big deal. You could easily just add shrimp or chicken or whatever you want. But I'm actually going to put some crawfish in, and right before we serve, I'm also going to add some shrimp. So that's how we like ours, but you can make it any way you want, and it's going to be delicious either way. So this crawfish that I'm adding is actually about a half a package. I've used the other half of the package in a previous recipe, but I had it frozen. But I found this in the frozen seafood section in Walmart. So I'm not sure if you can get it everywhere, but that's where I found this. Okay, so this is after it's been cooking for about 5 hours or so, but it looks so good. And now we're gonna probably be eating in about 30 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna add this shrimp, and I got this from Kroger, but you can also get it from Walmart too. And it's just regular frozen shrimp. This one had the shell on. I prefer it without, but I could not find any that didn't have at least the tail on. So I went ahead and got that. And here's just a little tip. Go ahead and make like a full batch of this, even if you're not going to eat it all on the same night. That's perfectly fine. And then freeze it. And then all you have to do is stick it back in a crock pot later, frozen. And then you already have dinner again for a second night. So I'm just going to add the shrimp in there. There we go. And let that sit for just a little while. And then we will serve it over rice. Or my husband actually likes to just have it over Ritz crackers. So however you choose, but it smells so good. Super easy. You could feed a crowd with this. So if you're having guests over, you could make this ahead of time and just let it sit in there on warm, and it would be perfect. And this is the finished product. You can't really see the crawfish in there, but it's in there. You can really taste it. And then I like to just add some of this on top of it before I eat it to add a little bit of spice. This is the Tony Chiracha's original Creole seasoning. But again, that made so much. And you can even make this a little bit easier. I should have mentioned this before. But if you don't want to chop up the green peppers, you can buy the green peppers already chopped up in the frozen section with onions, and that would be perfectly fine as well. But we're probably going to have some of this left over even after feeding 8 people. So we could put this in the freezer and have it again one night. But it looks so yummy. So for the next meal, we're going to have Philly cheesesteak and chips. And what I have is thinly sliced bottom round. And if you get the thinly sliced bottom round for your steak, it cooks up extra fast. And then whatever cheese you like to go on it, we use baby Swiss, but I've also used provolone in the past, and it does well, or American cheese. And I have 2 bell peppers and 2 onions. And I also have hoagie rolls that we're serving it on, but whatever bread you like, you can use. And I'm cooking for 8 that night, so I actually got 2 packages of meat, but it makes a whole lot, and there was a lot left over. So if you're making, let's say, enough for a family of 4 or less, or if you have little ones that don't eat as much, 1 package of meat with 1 pepper and 1 onion will do plenty. So I'm just going to chop all the vegetables first, and then I'm going to chop the meat up, and then I'm going to put it in a large pan to saute it until it's finished. So you just add all of the vegetables and the meat to the pan with a little bit of olive oil and cook until it's browned. So after it's brown, you're just going to put the cheese on and put the lid back on the pan until the cheese melts. And that is the finished product, so that is what is for dinner tonight. So our next meal is going to be a crockpot lasagna. I like to make these on days that we're busy because you can just put one in early in the day and then by the evening your dinner's ready. So the first thing that we have as far as the ingredients goes is low-fat cottage cheese, and you can use whatever cottage cheese you want. This is just the Walmart brand, or you can also use ricotta cheese, but my family likes the cottage cheese and it's a little less expensive. And then we're going to be using some whole milk mozzarella cheese, and I do prefer this over the part skim milk mozzarella because to me it's just a little tastier, and I'm going to be using about 1/4 of that block right there. And then we're going to be using some oven-ready lasagna noodles, and that's just the Great Value brand from Walmart. And the only cheese that I had on hand was some Mexican cheese, which is the Colby Jack or the Monterey Jack. So it works just fine. We've had it before. Anyways, and I also have a pound of extra lean ground beef. You could also use Italian sausage or turkey, whatever you prefer. And then for my pasta sauce, I'm going to be using Hunt's canned pasta sauce, and I'm going to show in just a second. Right there it is, and I'm using the garlic and herb. And we're just going to layer the ingredients in the crock pot with a crock pot liner. I'm going to cook it on low for about 6 hours, or you could cook it on high for about 3 hours, whichever you prefer. So the first thing you want to do is put a good amount of pasta sauce in the very bottom. That way the noodles don't stick. And I know we do have a crock pot liner, but sometimes it will tend to stick anyways. So make sure you get a good amount of the pasta sauce on the bottom. And then the way my crock pot is shaped, I can usually fit about 2 noodles side by side. And then you just start layering it from there. Beyond gravel, beyond scale the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way, no. Dreamy, breezy we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. So you pretty much just keep repeating the layers until you get as many layers as you want. Easy we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond I just added the mozzarella on top about an hour ago, and I turned it on warm so it would melt, and it's been cooking for about 6 hours. So this is what it looks like on 6 hours if you cook it on low. Of course it doesn't take that long. You can do it on high for a lot less, and it was probably actually done about an hour ago even on low. So that's what it looks like, and we're just going to put in a side Caesar salad that I have a kit for from Walmart, and that's going to be for dinner tonight. So for these smothered chicken burritos, we're going to have a big package of chicken breast. There's probably 6 chicken breasts in there, and we're going to have plenty of it left over. So this is going to be enough for 2 different meals this week. We're going to use the chicken for this meal and for another one. But I have an onion, 1 package of cream cheese. I have a chopped bell pepper, salt and pepper to taste, and a little bit of garlic powder. And then later on, I'm going to be adding a tomato. And I'm going to cook this on low for 6 hours. Again, you could probably get by with cooking it on high for probably about 4 hours or 3.5 hours. But anyways, I'm going to cook this one on low. And again, I'm going to use some of this chicken for a different recipe tomorrow. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's finished. I added a little bit of tomatoes a couple hours ago. You could omit them if you want, and I just pretty much stirred the chicken and it fell apart. You could also do burrito bowls with these, nachos. It's kind of endless. And then half of this I'm going to put away for tomorrow, and we're going to do a burrito bowl or a southwestern salad, or maybe both, depending on what everybody wants. So right now I'm just going to take these and put them in burrito shells or flour tortillas, and then I'm actually going to put a little bit of enchilada sauce and cheese on them and bake them in the oven a minute. You would not have to do that. These would be fine as tacos just like they are, but it's just something I have time to do this evening, so I'm going to do that to make them just a little bit extra special. But I'll show you when they're finished. Okay, so this is the finished product. I actually just went ahead and made the burritos. I put the chicken in there, and there's 8 of them here, and you could have, I'll just show you. I had a lot left over. You could have doubled the recipe and made one of these and froze them for a night later on, but I'm going to use my chicken, like I said, for like a burrito bowl. But the only thing I done, you could have ate it without putting anything on top of it, but I just added a little bit of this mild green chili enchilada sauce that I got from Target. It's under $1. I think it was like 88 cents. I just poured that on top with some Colby Jack cheese, shredded, and put it in the oven for about 5 minutes on 400. That way it would hurry up and melt the cheese. You're pretty much only melting the cheese. And so that's what's for dinner tonight, and you can easily pair this with some rice. We're going to eat it by itself because we're in a hurry. We don't have time to eat it with anything, or some black beans, or even a side salad. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this recipe. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And thanks for watching.